faces today. My name's Taylor. I'm the Vice President of the UTS French Society, and I take the weekly French classes with the Society, which is every Monday 2 till 3 p.m. This is an open class, whether you're a beginner, advanced, native speaker, it's for everyone, but it is aimed at giving you basic, sort of the basic rules, grammar, and topics in French. So today's lesson is a revision lesson. So we're basically just going to be going over everything that this French course has been doing for the last sort of 5 to 6 weeks over the autumn session. So as you can see, today is a revision class for things we've studied so far. We're going to be going through salutations, so greetings, farewells, how are you, etc. Then we're going to go into introduction topics, things like how to introduce yourself, how to tell someone your age, how to tell someone about your nationality, and how to tell them about what you study or what you do for a living. We might finish up with preferences, so things that we like and dislike. But before we do that, I'll just run you through all of that. And if you're going to come back and be with us for the next week, we'll keep referring to these basics as we progress further along for this session. And please do just ask any questions if you don't understand something, if you can't hear something, or if you want to clarify something. So the first thing that's important about French is pronouns. So we use pronouns in the place of nouns, people, places, and things. French has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pronouns. And for those of us who've been coming for the last little bit, basically today we're just going to be filling out boxes so that people are aware of what these are. So, Anna, what is the English pronoun for je? Do you remember?
I or me?
That's right, so it's I. Okay. Can everybody see that on the screen? Yeah, great. So you have je, which is I. Then you have te, which is, does anybody have an idea?
Tu is you. Tu.
That's right, tu. So tu is you. I've actually spelled that incorrectly, guys. I apologize, but tu equals you. And is it formal or informal, Anna?
Informal.
It's an informal version. Okay, it's the informal version of you.
Yeah.
Okay. So in French, there are 2 versions. There are 2 types of you. The next one, which one is it, Anna? Can you remember which one?
Vous.
That's right. So vous is the formal version of you. So you would use vous to address a colleague, your boss, someone who is older than you, or someone that you don't know particularly well. It's a form of polite, so there's the polite version to say you. You would use tu and te to maybe talk to your friends or to your family or a sibling or people that you're more familiar with. It's a much less formal version of that. We then move into il, elle, and on. So il is basically either he or it. Okay, it depends on what you're actually referring to. Most in French, objects, nouns, things are either female or male. They have a gender, so they are either masculine or feminine. So you can either refer to he as a person or it as a thing, and that thing is then masculine. So L, does anybody have an idea of what L might be then?
She.
Yeah, exactly. And also it as well. Similarly with il, elle is just the feminine version for objects as well. We then have on. Anna, do you remember this one?
We.
Yep. And is it formal or informal?
Informal.
That's right. So it's the informal we. And nous.
We, but formal.
So we, but formal, that's right. So again, French is sort of divided into formal, informal, and masculine and feminine. This follows several of the Latin languages, including Spanish, Italian, Romanian, and a little bit sometimes in English. Like we have some jobs and occupations that are gender-based. For example, we might say waiter or waitress, depending if someone is male or female. And we get that from Latin languages. This last one is, I've put it on the one because it's the same word, but it's just the masculine or feminine. And it basically is they. Okay, so it's a group of individuals, either masculine or feminine, or we will use il when you have a group of people that are both male and female. You only use the elle if it's a group of women. So, are there any questions about that so far?
No, not from me.
No? Cool. So, what are we going to do? We're going to get out of that for the moment.
Sorry, how did you pronounce the new? The
Nous.
weak form.
So nous. So I'll run through them actually so that you can hear them. You've got j'ai, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, and elle. Okay, so I'll run through them again. J'ai, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. So you will notice that a lot of the time, particularly with the nous, vous, il, and elle, I'm not pronouncing that last letter. The S is silent on nous, vous, il, and elle. You won't hear it. It's just a pronunciation thing. It's just the way in which French functions. English is a strictly letter pronounced language, but Spanish is more so. So Spanish, you pronounce every letter. French, you sometimes do and don't pronounce letters. It just depends. As you get more familiar with it, it becomes easier to when you don't pronounce things. But the general rule is the last letter of a word is not pronounced. Were there any other questions from anyone? Oh, there's a lot more now. Okay, cool. So if there's no more questions, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so underneath pronouns, we've got articles. Now in English, we have, sorry? Was there anybody? No, okay. In English, we have 3 articles. We have a, an, and the. So the is a definite article. It tells you that something is specific. So if I'm talking about the glass, don't know if you can see that, the glass, it is the only glass that I'm talking about. But if I say this is a pen, we can tell that there are more pens. It's not specifically this pen or the pen. Okay. In French, there are definite and indefinite articles, as well as partitive articles. So starting with the easy ones, you have the definite ones, which are le, la, L apostrophe, and le. So le, la, L apostrophe, et les. And these respond to masculine objects, feminine objects, vowels, and plurals. So an example would be le chat, which is the cat. Okay, I'll write that one here. My little pen. So, le chat, okay, would be a masculine, cats are masculine if they're not defined. If you don't tell someone that your cat is a girl, then they'll just immediately say it's a male. By contrast, you could say la porte, which is door, is feminine. So you use the door, la porte. You have L apostrophe, which is for words that begin with vowels or with H. So, for example, l'hôtel, the hotel. Or you could say Australie, which is how the French say Australia. Okay. Then you have the plurals, which are things like, let's see, les États Unis, which is the United States. Okay. And that's the way in which the definite articles function. You're talking about a specific object, and you want to use an article to indicate that that is the object. Then you have your sorry? Did someone have a question? No? Okay, cool. Then you have indefinite articles. You have un, une ou une for vowels, and you also have the plurals, which are des. Okay, so un, une, or des. Okay, and these are for, you could use the same examples that you've got here, le chat, la porte, l'hôtel, les États-Unis. No, except not les États-Unis. You have to use one of the others, like let's say le chat would become des chats. Okay, and that's the way in which the des is used, because you have plurals of something, but effectively it follows in the same way. Then you get to partitives, which basically say that the object is of something. So you might have heard things like, let's see, what's a good example? La belle de la balle, the belle of the ball. So you use de la to indicate that the object was feminine. La belle, using la belle de la balle. Okay, it functions in telling you that something is of something. But for now, that's just to let you know that that exists. The main important ones are the definite articles and the indefinite articles. Were there any questions about those?
No.
All good so far? Cool. So now we're going to move down into our verbs. Now, I will have to get rid of what we've written so far because they unfortunately do not travel down when I scroll down. So if you're going to take any notes or write anything, please do so now. Or I can, help you later on if you have any questions about spelling. So rolling down. Yeah. Here we have most of the verbs that we have used over the last sort of 5 weeks in our classes to cover different topics, the ones that I showed you at the beginning of the class. So this first one, s'appeler, refers to call someone or to what you call yourself, okay? To call or to name yourself, okay? So you might have heard someone say, je m'appelle Taylor. Bonjour, je m'appelle Taylor. It's to introduce yourself. The way in which you use it is that the S reflects upon the subject. But for now, the one that you would need to remember as a basic would be je m'appelle. My name is. I am called something. Then you have être, which is, hang on, where did you go? There you are. To be. Okay, this is both a verb and an auxiliary. It's a verb that allows you to tell a tense. Okay, often we will use être or the next one, avoir, to have, okay, which is the other main auxiliary in French. They are used to indicate tenses. They're also used to indicate things about having or being. So to describe yourself, to describe other people, you would use those as to être. And to describe having something past, present, or future, you would use avoir. Then you have venir, which is to come. Okay. Then you have travailler, which is to work. Then you have aimer, which is to like. And the last one is détester, which is to dislike or to hate something, or just to hate, I guess. Are there any questions about any of these verbs? No? All good?
Could you go through with the pronunciation again? Sorry.
Of course, yeah, not a problem. So the first one, s'appeler. Do you want to have a go?
S'appeler?
Good. No, that's great. That's really good. Yeah. Then you have être. Okay, that's got that French R. So être is also acceptable until you can practice doing the être, the way in which they roll their R's. So you've got être or être, depending on how you can pronounce it. Then you have avoir. You have venir, travailler, aimer, and détester. Those are the main verbs, and we'll go down a bit and I'll show you where and how we use them for introduction. Did anybody else have any questions about pronunciation or anything else so far? It's a lot of info, I know, guys, but I promise it'll start making sense eventually. So we have a couple of professions, okay? One which we are all at the moment is étudiant or étudiante, which is a student, okay? This is how you say student, usually university, or if you're in a class for a language, you can say je suis étudiant. If you're a man or boy or masculine identifying, and if you are female or female identifying, you would say étudiante. Then you have comptable, which is accountant, funnily enough. So this was one because one of our regular students is an accountant, so that's why that one's in there. Then you have enseignant or enseignante, which is teacher. Too many A's in that one. Then you have, this one might be a bit easy to tell. Does anybody have an idea for this one?
Police.
Police.
Police officer.
Police officer, exactly. So police officer, policeman, policewoman. Yeah, police officer. Does anybody know this one? Pompier. No? It's firefighter. So firefighter. Okay. The next one, infirmier. Any ideas? It's nurse. Okay, this is a nurse. The next one, we also use it in English, but we got it from French. Entrepreneur is a French word. Which one?
Businessman.
Businessman or businesswoman or business owner. Okay, so yeah. And then the last one, anybody want to have a go with this last one? Serveur, serveuse.
Waiter, waitress.
That's right. Waiter, waitress.
Yeah. So. How do you pronounce the waitress?
So you have serveur, which is masculine, and you have serveuse, which is feminine. So, and we use the être, the to be vowel, in order to describe what we are. So I would say, je suis serveuse, or je suis étudiante. Somebody's got a question? With E to differentiate male and some without. It's honestly, why some are with an E and some are not comes down to how they sound. That's the best answer I can give. So comptable is not going to sound any different if you put the E on it than if you left it off. A double E was not going to make any difference to the way that sounded. But for usually with ones that end with a hard consonant, like a T or a D, they will have an E put on the end of it to signify male or female. That then pronounces the last letter. So the main difference with feminine pronunciation is things like étudiant and étudiante. You have a T at the end. I'm over-pronouncing it, but that's the main difference there. Any other questions? Cool.
Sorry, I'm gonna ask this like
No, all good.
Thank you.
No problem. Do you want me to pronounce them again? Sure.
Yes.
So, étudiant, étudiante, comptable, comptable, same thing. Enseignant, enseignante, policière, pompier, infirmière, entrepreneur, serveur, serveuse. Okay,
Thank you.
not a problem. Yeah, cool. Any other professions that anybody wanted to know while we're here?
What about a scientist?
A scientist is scientifique. So, un or une scientifique. Okay, like that.
Thank you.
Not a problem. And that's sometimes where the E on the end, this is related to, sorry, who asked? Samia. So Samir's question was related to why some have E's and some don't. Is sometimes you can use that article to indicate if someone is masculine or feminine. So, elle est une scientifique, or il est scientifique. The article or the pronoun will tell you if someone is male or female sometimes. So that can also help. Any other jobs or professions you wanted to know about? Well, we'll stroll along then, but if you have any, put them in the chat or ask me whenever you like. Cool. Sorry? Oh, no problem. Okay. Next we have nationalities and countries. Okay, so les nationalités et le pays. So as you can see on the left-hand side, we have nationalities, and on the right-hand side, we have countries. Now, most of these names are pretty easy to tell where they belong to. So, Australian, Australian, Armenian, Armenian, Brazilian, Brazilian. This one's an interesting one because if you kick across to the country, La Nouvelle-Zélande, but then they say Neo-Zealandese, that's when people get a bit confused. Why does it go from masculine or feminine to masculine? Again, it usually comes down to how it sounds. It doesn't sound as good to say Nouvelle-Zélandaise, so they say Neo-Zealandese. That's about it. As you will see, there are different endings for masculine and feminine. Anything in a bracket indicates the feminine spelling. So Australien, Australienne, Armenian, Armenienne. It's basically a bit more of that N pronunciation at the end. That's the easiest way to describe that pronunciation. We then sort of kick across to the countries, and as you can see, they are either masculine or feminine. An easy trick with the L apostrophe is if it ends in an E, it's usually feminine. Like 99% of countries that end with an E will be a feminine one. So here's a little test for you guys, your first test. We'll go through the countries and you'll just have to tell me if you think it's masculine or feminine. So, l'Australie.
Masculine.
No, it's feminine. That's okay, it's fine, not a problem. I'm liking
so
people. Feminine. So that one's a feminine one because it ends with an A. You'll see l'Australie has the E.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant if it ends in an E in English.
Oh, no, in French.
Okay, sorry.
All good. So for l'Arménie, would it be masculine or feminine?
Feminine.
Feminine, exactly. What about le Brésil?
Masculine.
Masculine, yes. Can we remember why it's masculine?
Because it ends with L.
Ends with L and it has le, L-E, which is the masculine article from earlier when we were talking about the articles. We'll go back up briefly. If we come back up here. Ooh. We've got le. So if it's a definite masculine article, le, that's how we can tell if something is masculine or feminine as well. So, Nouvelle-Zélande, la Nouvelle-Zélande, masculine or feminine?
Feminine.
Feminine, yeah. La Chine, masculine or feminine?
Feminine.
Feminine, Yeah. What about le Japon?
Masculine.
Masculine. Exactly. What about la Corée du Sud or la Corée du Nord?
Masculine.
Feminine.
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 Feminine. Yeah, it's feminine because la. Okay, so we'll go back up to our articles again. Coming back up here, we have le, la, elle apostrophe, and les. So anything that's feminine will usually indicate that with la. So la porte, la lune, la table, la bouteille, the bottle. So a bottle of water is feminine, for example. So yeah. Okay, now we're reaching our first plural. Okay, and this is something of a trick question because plurals are neutral in French. Okay, so if it's plural, it's not masculine and it's not feminine, it's a plural. So it's a trick question. Another le country is Fiji, les Fiji, because it's a group of islands. So then you have l'Espagne. Does anybody have an idea of what country this is?
Spain.
Spain. Yes, so it's Spain. And is it masculine or feminine?
Feminine.
Feminine, that's right, because it's got the E on the end, doesn't it? What about l'Allemagne? Germany. Germany, yes, very good, Germany. And is it feminine or masculine? Feminine.
Feminine.
Feminine. What about l'Italy?
Italy.
Yes, Italy. Yep, exactly. And is it masculine or feminine?
Feminine.
Feminine. La Colombie.
Feminine.
Feminine. And which country is it?
Colombia.
Colombia. And the last one, Le Mexique.
Masculine.
Masculine. And which country is it?
Mexico.
Mexico. All right. So were there any countries there that people didn't fully know or understand? Espagne, Allemagne.
No, it's just confusing. Why Colombia is feminine and Mexico is masculine?
Again, it's one of the things where they're like, oh, it doesn't sound feminine, so it's masculine. Like
La Mexique. La Mexique.
La Mexique, le Mexique.
La Mexique.
Like the only people who would really know that you're pronouncing it wrong are like the very snooty French people that do pay attention to articles. Most French people will get this wrong if they don't know it. They will just automatically do a masculine if they don't know if it's a feminine, because most objects defer to the masculine. But they'll also look at little things like the E on the end of things or just the vibe of a word and be like, oh, that sounds feminine, so that's what we're doing today. Yeah. So English doesn't do that. That's usually one of the things that most English speakers struggle with in French is the genders. Well, why is this feminine? Why is that masculine? Oh, why do I have to use that but not this? So over time, it becomes easier because you remember definite articles, indefinite articles. You remember which objects are feminine, which ones are masculine. And it's a bit of just a memory game, really, because sometimes there's no rhyme or reason, but yeah, English has a lot of interesting rules as well that don't always make sense to people learning it. So each language has its ups and downs and its interesting bits and complex bits as well. But that's what makes it fun. Yes, question. Ooh. Do you capitalize nationalities, countries? French doesn't capitalize days, months like English. Really good question, Lara. So technically, no. For nationalities, no. We don't capitalize nationalities. We do capitalize countries, but not nationalities. I've just put them in capitals because I don't have an article in front of the nationality. So that's why they're in capitals there in that box. But when you put them in a sentence or you write them down, they're not capitalized. Any more questions about any of the nationalities or any countries? Nope. Okay. No. Cool. Then I guess we'll scroll on. So yeah, little bit more grammar, but if you don't remember it, that's fine. This is relating to how to tell someone where you're from. Okay, this relates to what we call prepositions, which is to say that you are in something, you are from somewhere, you are going to somewhere. So to, in, and from are English prepositions, and they function very similarly in French. So with the accent means either to or in, depending on, again, feminine, masculine, the type of sentence you want to tell. And de means from. So you have masculine with consonant, under becomes o. Masculine with a vowel, n. Feminine, n. Plural, o. So I don't pronounce the X. Again, similar rule from before, we don't pronounce the last letter. So you have O, N, N, O. Then for from, you have du, de apostrophe, de apostrophe for feminine, or de for the plural. I've written some examples there so you can see how they would be used. So using the verb être, venir, or être again, to say, I am in Brazil, or I am in Armenia, or I am in the United States, which I didn't capitalize for some reason. Sorry about that, guys. Then you have je viens du Brésil, which is to say I am from Brazil. Je viens d'Arménie, I'm from Armenia. Or je viens des États-Unis, I come from the United States. So yeah, feel free to have a look at that as you like. Oh, this question. Is there a pronunciation difference between O and O? Not really, not particularly. There are slight, and I'm talking about if you spoke French your entire life, you could possibly hear a difference, but functionally, no. There is no difference between O and O. Generally, you just see it in the spelling when people write it. So yeah. Then we have numbers. Oh, another question. Oh, no problem. So numbers. So les chiffres or numbers, okay. Basically, I have them there 1 to 30. We'll come back to them when we get to the age questions, like how to say your age, how to say that in a sentence. But for now, we can do 1 to 10 if people are interested in learning 1 to 10. So you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more time. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And most of that follows in the tens. Like the teens are a bit different, but when you get to 20 plus, you basically repeat like you do in English. So we say 21, 22, 23. That's the same for 31, 32, 33. We use the singles after a 10. So it's the same pattern in French as well. You just learn the different 10 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. So any questions about numbers? Anyone want to know how to pronounce their age?
How do you pronounce 20 and 30?
Sorry, 20 and 30?
Yeah.
So 20 is 20. So 20. And then you have 30, which is 30. 30.
30.
It's that very difficult TR and then another T.
20,
20, 30. 20, 20, 30, 30. Okay. So, for example, 22 is 22. 35, 35. 28, 28. 31, 31. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions or anyone want to know their age pronunciation? Okay. We'll move on to just some quick revision, basically. There are several ways the French say hello or good day, but you should all possibly know the most common.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Anybody who's watched Beauty and the Beast? Bonjour, 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 bonjour. Okay. It's the pretty standard one. They say bonjour is probably the most important French word that you'll ever learn. Because as soon as you say it in France, it opens doors culturally and societally, and people just become more relaxed. The moment you say bonjour, people are like, oh, great. They know like a little bit of French. Makes people very happy. But bonjour basically translates to good day or hello. But if you were with your friends, if you were just saying hi, you would say
Salut.
Salut. Salut, ça va? Salut. Okay. What about good afternoon?
Bon après-midi.
Yes. So bon après-midi. Okay. So yes, bon après-midi with the little accent. That's my little drawer. Okay, like that. Can everybody see my badly drawn little accent there? So yeah, over the E, they have an accent. So après-midi. Then you have good evening. And there's sort of two ways in which we in English would say it. We say good evening or good night. And in French, they would say
Bonsoir.
bonsoir. Okay, good evening. And then to say good night, bonne nuit. Okay, so you have bonjour or salut. You have bon après-midi. You have bonsoir and bonne nuit for good evening or good night. Any questions so far with that?
No.
Okay. So, how are you? How would you ask somebody how they are? Well, there are two ways. You have the formal and the informal. Anna, do you remember the formal way?
Yeah. Comment allez-vous?
That's right. Comment allez-vous? Okay. Now, this is broken down into comment, which means how, aller, which is the verb aller, which is to go, okay, and vous, which, if we remember, was our formal way of saying you. Okay, so that is how that sentence is constructed. You have comment allez-vous? And you notice I don't pronounce the Z, that disappears. Then, informally, what do we say? Anna?
Comment ça va?
Comment ça va? Okay, or sometimes it's shortened even more to just say ça va. You will hear people just say ça va more often than they say comment ça va, because it takes too long, basically. So ça va, comment ça va is the informal way of saying it. And then you have comment allez-vous, the formal way to ask someone how they are. Any questions about that? No? Okay. So moving down. We have goodbyes, farewells, our wiedersehens, good nights. So the most common one you'll hear, Anna, do you remember?
Yeah. Au revoir.
Au revoir. Yeah, au revoir. Goodbye, so long, farewell. You also have see you later and see you soon. You'll see these a lot on our posts on Facebook or on Instagram, because these are a lot more informal, more what students say, because au revoir usually means you're never going to see this person again, or there'll be a long time between you seeing them. So, à
bientôt.
à tout à l'heure. Okay. Sorry. Nope, you were right, Anna. Sorry. So you have à bientôt, so see you later. And then you have à tout à l'heure, see you soon. Okay. So basically, one is just a little bit longer than the other. Same difference between see you later and see you soon. Not much difference, really. But yeah. Any questions about any of those so far?
Are they both formal? The à bientôt and à tout à l'heure?
À tout à l'heure. They're not so much formal as they are. If you think about it, when you're being formal, would you say see you later, or would you you'd say goodbye? Yeah, like you might say it to sound fancy, because à tout à l'heure sounds very fancy to an English person, but see you later or see you soon is just a bit more informal. But
okay,
you will hear people say it even if they don't know each other. So when you leave the bakery, the baker will say à bientôt, see you soon, see you later, you know,
Okay.
because you might be back the
Thank you.
next day. If, like, it's not so strict, that one, because it's just a farewell. And it's just more common than au revoir, which is very much like kissing on both cheeks. Oh, crying because I'll never see you again. Like,
Thank you.
say it to your grandparents when you don't see them for a long time, you know, au revoir, mommy. Or, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, perfectly acceptable to sort of use with friends, and also acceptable to use if you will see that person kind of frequently. So your teacher, your baker, the person in the supermarket, etc. Like, you will probably use them, like, use it then as well. All right. What do we have left? Yes. So still got to, if people are happy to run over a little bit of time, I will take you through introductions briefly, and then finish off with some questions on how to ask people this. Is everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Cool. So, where's my little eraser? Because that's annoying me. So, your name. We've got our verb. I put the verb up there so everybody can know which one we're using. Okay. So, does anybody remember how I introduced myself?
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle. Exactly. So, je, I, the pronoun. Okay. M'appelle, because I'm female, but also that's sometimes just the way it works. So, je m'appelle Taylor. Okay. Okay. So the M is what we call a reflexive pronoun, because that particular verb is a reflexive verb. English doesn't have them. French and Spanish, I think, do. Italian does. German might, but I'm not across German languages. But Latin languages certainly have reflexive verbs. So occasionally you won't just have the subject, the pronoun, and the verb. You will also have a reflexive, which is what the M is. To show a different one, so we would use maybe vous appelez. Okay. My mistake. Vous appelez. Okay. That's the question, like, what are you called? Okay. Comment vous s'appelle? Comment vous appelez? Okay. And you notice that it's not an M that follows the vous. It's an S, because that's the reflexive pronoun for vous. Okay. So, Anna, would you like to have a go?
What should I say?
Just introduce yourself with your name.
Je m'appelle Anna.
Lara, do you want to have a go?
Je m'appelle Lara.
Lovely. Vandita?
Sorry, what was that?
Would you like to have a go at introducing yourself?
Okay, je m'appelle Vandita.
Perfect. Very good. And Sarah?
Je m'appelle Sarah.
Lovely. No, very
How
good.
would you pronounce Sarah with a French accent?
Well, it's your name.
Oh, I
So
see.
you pronounce it however you wish.
Okay.
To be honest, French people with their accent will pronounce your name slightly differently. Like, the French version of Sarah is like Sarah. Like, they roll the R a bit.
Okay.
But if it's your name, so you pronounce it how you want to pronounce it, or how it is pronounced. Yeah, same with mine. My name gets pronounced slightly differently because of French pronunciation, but doesn't make that much difference. You then have age, okay? And we use avoir or to have. Okay, so it's constructed like this. So j'ai, okay, I have, and I'm 24, so I would say 24 ans. Okay, I have 24 years is what that translates to. Okay, so it's je plus I plus number plus un. Okay, that's the way it works. Does anyone want to have a go?
How do you say 41?
41. So 41. 40, 41.
Oh.
So,
J'ai 41 ans.
yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. Anyone else want to have a go?
Okay, I'll go.
Cool.
Jean, is that right? Sorry, Jean?
J'ai,
sorry.
Yeah.
J'ai 21
21.
ans. Okay.
Yeah.
That was so off.
Yeah. It's with all the and, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, j'ai 21 ans.
Okay, thank you.
What does that last on mean?
So years.
Years on.
It all equals years. So you
Okay.
might hear them go bonne année, okay, which is like, you know, good, like happy new year. Okay.
Yeah.
So année is also a way of writing year in the feminine. Okay, the feminine singular, and then an is just plural. So that's why they write it that way. So j'ai 24 ans. Okay. It's a bit easier than the un et un. But once you get past the ones, which are a little bit different, yeah, they start sounding a bit more normal. Then you have nationality. Okay. So so we have venir, okay, which is, does anybody remember this verb?
Je suis.
That was être, so very good. So that's être. So venir is to come, okay? So je viens de, was Australia feminine or masculine? Does anyone? Feminine. So I would use, but because it starts with a what's it called? Vowel. I would say je viens d'Australie. Okay. So that's the way that works. I'm from Australia. I come from Australia. Okay. Anyone else want to give that a go?
Je viens d'Arménie.
D'Arménie. Yeah. D'Arménie. Yeah. Je viens d'Arménie.
Okay, so I don't pronounce the R, the R, not
So,
Arménie.
Arménie. Arménie.
Arménie, yeah. Je viens d'Arménie.
Je viens d'Arménie.
Bien, je viens.
Good. It's you also have je suis, okay, which is to say I am. Okay, je suis australienne. Okay, je suis australienne. Je viens d'Australie. Je suis australienne. Okay, I come from Australia. I am Australian. And that's the way those two verbs are conjugated with the pronoun je. Does anyone else want to have a go with the suis? Anna?
Je suis australienne.
Oh, sorry, Sarah?
Sorry. Je suis australienne.
Perfect. Very good.
Okay. How do you pronounce the je Yeah. The first
Je
one.
viens. Yeah. Je viens
Je viens.
Yeah.
Je viens
Viens.
d'Australie.
d'Australie.
D'Australie. Thank you.
No problem. Then you have occupation. So again, we use être. So je suis étudiante. Je suis étudiante. Okay, because I'm feminine, so I have the e at the end. But if I was a man or male identifying, I would say je suis étudiant. Okay. Does anyone else want to have a go at that?
Just read this. Je suis étudiant.
Yeah, just have a go. Or if you
Je suis étudiant, or je suis comptable.
yes, so you are. That's right, Anna. You're. Je suis comptable. Je suis comptable. Okay. And then travailler. Usually, you use it to say I work somewhere. Like, je travaille dans un supermarché. I work in a supermarket. Or, je travaille dans une boutique. I work in a shop. Okay, that's the main difference between travailler and être. Okay. Did anyone have any questions about those before we finish up? Nope. Okay, so last ones, I'll move down past the preferences. We'll do those another time. But basically, these are all the questions, okay? We went through comment ça va? Comment allez-vous? How are you? Okay. Then you have que fais-tu? Et que faites-vous? Okay. What do you do? Like, what is your profession, or what do you do? Okay. Formal and informal versions. Then you have quel âge as-tu? Quel âge avez-vous? So again, what age are you, or what age do you have? Quelle nationalité avez-vous? Quelle nationalité as-tu? Okay. Again, differences in formal and informal. And then tu viens d'où? Or vous venez d'où? Where do you come from? You come from where? Okay. Did anybody want to try those on? Anyone want to try those? Sarah?
Okay. Oh, I'm nervous. Could you give me an example, please?
Do you want me to pick one for you?
Yes.
Okay.
And I just respond to it?
Yeah. So, Sarah, quel âge as-tu?
Quel âge as-tu? Hang on, I'm getting there. Okay. J'ai 21 ans.
Perfect. Very good.
Yes, thank you.
Good. Let's see. Lara or Lara. Tu viens d'où?
Je viens d'Australie.
Perfect. Very good. Vandita.
Yes.
Que fais-tu?
Okay, so that means
Que
I'm
fais-tu?
sorry.
So, que fais-tu?
Que fais-tu?
Mhm.
That's how are you, right?
No, it's what do you do?
Oh, sorry. What do you? Okay. I'm a bit nervous. You can go ahead and explain. Sorry.
No worries. So, what do you do? Are you a student, or are you, what? job do you have?
Student.
You're a
I'm a
student?
student. Yeah.
So, je suis étudiante would be your response. If someone asks you, what do? You would say, je suis étudiante. I'm a student.
Je suis étudiant. Okay.
Good. Sorry to put you on blast.
That's okay. That needs a bit more practice.
Does anyone else want to have a go? Want me to pick one out for you? No? Yes?
When you pronounce étudiante as a feminine word, you need to pronounce the T.
Yes, if you are female or if you're female identifying, yes, you would have to pronounce it in the feminine way because it's about
Étudiant.
you. So whatever you are, you pronounce, if that makes sense, or do
Yeah,
not pronounce.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, that was basically today's lesson, guys. That that file there. Oh, question, chat. No problems. Thank you, Samir. If anybody has any questions about anything that doesn't make sense, I'll be here for another sort of 5 minutes. I can answer questions, but that's basically it for today. There was a lot to dump on you guys, but basically that's what we've been covering over the last 5 weeks. Each week we focused on a different part of what we covered today. So nationalities, names, ages, occupations, etc. So it's not always just lumped in like that. So next week we can either go over things that people wanted to do. If you're in the Facebook group, that's a good place to put in requests or to ask questions about what we're doing. So the Facebook group that we have, I will put a link to it in the chat. Okay. It is the First French Classes Info and Discussion Group. Okay. If you go to the UTS French Society Facebook page and you go down to our groups, you will find it connected to the Facebook page. And that's the easiest way to find it. You just click join. Okay, this one here. And yeah, we'll let you in. And then that's where you can find all the worksheets. You can chat with other people, ask questions of myself or the other first team about French, about classes that you'd like to do, and share memes because that's how we're getting through this COVID-19 crisis. So memes are good. Anybody have any other questions before I sign off for today?
No, I just want to say thank you. Thanks very much.
Oh, thanks, Anna.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed this, and I'll see you next week. A bientôt.
Yes, a bientôt.
A bientôt.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Bye.
I have
Bye.
one question.
Oh, yes.
Quick question. Sorry.
No
Do you
problem.
have any recommendations for like any movies or shows that we can watch in French to improve our French pronunciation?
Netflix is amazing, actually, because they have like a bunch of French TV shows and movies on there. If you go into like search for Netflix and you type in French film, they usually come up with classics like actually I don't know what movies they have, but I was watching a TV series called Le Charité de Bazar, which is the in English it has a completely different title, but I'll type it on here so that you can see what it's called.
Would you believe me if I told you I don't have Netflix?
How are you surviving COVID-19? No, just kidding.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, that's one of the TV series that I watch. It's quite good. Like it's set in like 1800s Paris. It's a bit of like a murder mystery, drama, all kinds of stuff. It's really cool. You have classic films like Les Intouchables, okay, the Untouchables, very, very classic of like French cinema in the last 20 years.
Wow.
You have...
There's this one that I heard about Le Miserable de
Les
Sophie.
Miserables.
Oh, okay.
Les Miserables is it's both a book. It was written by Victor Hugo, who also wrote The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh.
And Les Miserables is considered to be one of his, very big works. Oh, okay. Lara said, I've become obsessed with the French Peppa Pig YouTube channel with subtitles for 0.75 because it uses some basic vocab about family, likes, dislikes, houses, and food. So that's actually a really good point. Watching TV series for children is actually quite good because it gives you a lot of that vocabulary. It's so
I love that.
best. Okay. My French boyfriend has just offered another one. What was that, babe?
Oh.
So, au revoir, la haute. Okay. Au revoir, la haute. It's another one he said was quite... No. Again, I'm not a professional at this. He apparently is, but I don't know. But yeah, like watching things, actually, if you guys, I don't know if you have any Disney movies, okay, but watching them with French with the French voices or with French subtitles is really good for you because you know the story. But then you're listening to it in French. Because Disney produced every film in all the different languages. So you can find every film with a different language with that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And also, my favorite is going on to YouTube and listening to songs, the Disney songs, but in French. It's a little bit bizarre the first time you hear it because you're like, wait, it's supposed to be this, but no, they sing something different. Okay. Which is a lot of fun. Yes, listening to French music is like a lot of fun. You have things like Stromae. He's quite a famous Belgian singer, but they're Franco-Belgian, so he speaks French rather than Flemish. Daft Punk is actually a French band, guys, in case you didn't know. They don't speak very much, but they are a French band. Yes, Aya Nakamura is a French singer. So Hamid has put some on. Yep. Angele, Daju. There's a lot of rappers, like French rap. They're very into that as well. It's very fast though. So even I struggle with it. You've got the classics like Edith Piaf, who sings La Vie en Rose. Like everybody knows that one.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. So when you think French songs, you just go Edith Piaf, and she has lots of songs. All right. Don't ask me to sing them because she can roll her R's like there's no tomorrow. It's ridiculous. She has a vibrato that I just can't do. It's amazing.
One day,
exactly. Keep positive. That's exactly it. Exactly. Love the.
Thank you so much for the suggestions.
Not a problem.
I didn't think of
I will also post things in the group. So if you're on Facebook, that's where we do things. Otherwise, like if you want us to send emails out to people who are interested in receiving emails, if you don't use Facebook, we can start developing more things with a newsletter or like weekly things like go and watch this film, or we recommend these books, or here's some top 3 songs that we're listening to this week in French, like similar to what we'd be sort of discussing in the Facebook group, basically. So if people want to do that, like have emails rather than Facebook, let us know. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see you when we see you.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. And see you next week.
A bientôt. Is that right?
À bientôt.
See you in prochain.
That was fun.
Thank you. Glad you had a fun time.
See ya.
See you later.